Hello and welcome to Exit TV, and today I am with Munatsi Sande. This is amazing. You know, a man who has just turned 40. You said you just turned 40?
Turning 40.
Turning 40 on the 31st
July.
And that's when you're launching this book.
That's when I'm launching.
And I have the amazing privilege of holding this book. But this man has got an amazing story where he grew up in Mbari and is pastoring a church in Mbari. But what is amazing is that he's turned his journey into a book, and he's calling it Greatness Awaits. So why Greatness Awaits?
I believe that most people are waiting to be great, but I believe before you're born, greatness is already within you. So the story of Greatness Awaits is saying that greatness awaits. What are you waiting for?
Right.
So when you wake up in the morning, greatness is waiting for you. What are you waiting for? When you go to sleep, greatness awaits for you. What are you waiting for? So it is a story about every individual needs to realize that God has put seeds of greatness in them, and greatness is waiting for them, whilst many people are waiting to become great.
You know, here's the thing. It's one thing to know that you're great. It's something else to do something about it. You know, to the realization of greatness. And I hear your story of growing up in Bari, and now you're pastoring a church in Bari, which is amazing. How did you discover your greatness?
The thing that has happened for me to then discover my greatness, growing up in the community of Mbari, I was just like any other young person where I didn't know who I was, struggling to find myself. But one of the things there are many things that have helped me to find who I am. Number one, there were people who believed in me, who saw something in me more than I saw in myself. Okay. So when they continued to tell me or to point at me, saying, you can't be this, you can't be that, I was saying, what is it that they are seeing in me that I was not seeing in myself?
You know, I kind of sense what you're saying. I'm growing up in Shamba. I grew up in a mine. One of the things that, for me, it's the thing that it sometimes becomes overbearing. And these guys are saying, we know you can do this, you can do this. Yeah. But how do you help people understand that, you know, it's not about being overbearing. It's about people seeing the greatness in you, and you've got to be able to transition to that greatness.
Definitely. We do the same thing with church.
Yeah.
We tell people you ought to be prosperous, you ought to do this. Right. But I believe there comes a place not about the ought to, but the how to. Right. What is the practical step to do that? And one of the best ways to do that is, number one, to model it. Right. Show me how to. Right. Secondly, you mentor me. Take me step by step. I had a leader who did that with me. Right. He showed me how to do things. He did things with me. He watched me do things, and now I do most of the stuff by myself. Wow.
So you're saying you've got 8 keys to greatness, turning potential to greatness. So this is amazing, and it's a very nice little book. But the thing that you write here is that you've got to read it over 8 weeks. Why should I read it over 8 weeks?
Most books don't transform us because you just read them for information. But the reason I ask people to go through it 8 weeks is so that you read it, you have most time to reflect, to jot down your notes, write down, do the exercises, because this is a practical step, a step-by-step journey. So for example, I talk about self-awareness. You can't just read about self-awareness. Right. You have to ask yourself certain questions about yourself. Because I can never just discover me just by reading something or just by listening to something. I must get to a place where I introspect, I look into myself, I ask myself some tough questions. And you can't just do that, just rushing through it.
I mean, you've just gone through the first 2 chapters. Self-awareness, self-introspection, and then there's self-confidence. What about self-confidence?
You know, the whole issue about self-confidence is you cannot have people believe in you if you don't believe in you.
Yeah. I like that. You cannot have people believe in you unless you believe in you.
Unless you believe in you.
That's amazing.
So there's a whole, when it comes to the issue of self-confidence, it comes in a place where it's a very thin line with self-confidence and someone who's believing in themselves and someone who's proud. Right. So a lot of people sometimes, when you see someone who's believing in themselves, one of the things that has been a secret for me in my self-confidence, it is I believe in me not because of what I have or what I don't have. Because if your self-confidence is based on what is outside you, when someone who's better than you comes in the room, you go down. But if your self-confidence is based on who you are in God, no matter who you are,
they come to the pastor. The pastoral is coming out now.
So each individual is unique in themselves. So my secret to self-confidence is based on who I am in God, not based on what I've achieved or what I've not achieved.
Wow, so there we have it. We are talking to the amazing young man turning 40 in a couple of days. And to celebrate his 40th, he's going to be launching this amazing book. We're going to take a short break, and we're back with you in a moment.
哇。
So we're back, and once again, I am talking to the man who has done something that I didn't do when I wrote my book. You've written your book, and you've got the audio book as well, all in one, and it's all packaged, ready to be launched on the 31st.
Yes.
This is amazing. Now, you know, we're talking about the different chapters that you have, and all of that, you know. But many people have always asked me, and I'm going to be very cheeky right now, because I'm going to combine your book and mine. Many people have got many excuses. How can people exit their excuses as they move towards greatness?
I'm excited about this because I also talk about excuses, and I talk about the excuses that I had in my own life, where I said I cannot be great because I'm poor, because of the community that I grew up in. I said I cannot be great because I'm not connected. I like that. Because I didn't have different connections. I cannot be great because I may not be educated. I cannot be this because of this. Whenever you give excuses, your mind takes a back seat.
Really? Well, I should know, but I like the way
you become a victim.
Alright, you become a victim.
But you have to realize that whatever excuse you can give, one has to make a decision. That if I can be able to face my own opposition or whatever I'm seeing as a barrier and face it and deal with it. Because the truth be said is, somebody somewhere has faced that same excuse and have done something with it. And one of the things that has also become a help for me in dealing with my excuses, when I read the Bible, there are different individuals who gave different excuses, but they were able to overcome those excuses. Not only in the Bible, but also when I look into history, there are men and women who had different things that they went through that they could have given as excuses, but they were able to deal with them and able to overcome them. I look at a man like Nelson Mandela. If at 76 he was able to become a president,
that's good.
I'm just turning 40. What excuse do I have?
Now let's go back to your vocation. I mean, you are a pastor. And you definitely can see people who have got potential. You can see people who've got greatness in them, and they just do not do it. And for me, it's a huge bother. I sometimes meet people who can sing, and they just don't want to sing. It gets me really upset. How can you, or how can you advise people who see greatness in others? How can you help? What can you say to them to be able to unearth that from people and not get frustrated?
I think the whole issue is sometimes what makes it different from me is because I've been there. I've done that. So one of the things that makes you patient is when other people were patient with you, you become patient with other people.
That's a good one. I mean, being patient with other people is you help them become great. That's amazing. All right.
Because if you don't, because greatness does not happen in a day, but it happens daily.
You just keep throwing this huge nugget. So greatness does not happen in a day, it happens daily.
So the only way, if you are going to help other people, you must be able to see where they are. Then you see where they're supposed to be. Then you realize that for them to move from where they are to where they're supposed to be, there's going to be a journey. And that journey is not going to be easy. Most people have abandoned their purpose because the process is difficult. Sometimes they're living in this instant generation where we just tell people, you're going to be great, you're going to become powerful. But we don't tell people that it's going to be a journey. It's going to be a process. And it's important that you take people through that process, a step-by-step process. So if you are going to help people become great, if you're going to help people to become powerful, if you're going to help people to overcome their own excuses, you must be real with them.
But let's conclude with this question. Many people ask me this question. It's a very tough one. But I want to find out your perspective. How can one be able to identify their purpose in life?
I believe personally that purpose is not something that you create, but it's something that you discover.
All right.
In terms of how one discovers their own purpose in life, for me personally, one of the things that happened is this. In terms of discovering my purpose, it started by sometimes trying many things.
All right.
In trying many things, I had to ask myself a lot of questions. What is it that I love to do?
Good.
When I'm seeing it done and I enjoy doing it.
All right.
When I'm seeing it done wrong, I get frustrated.
Okay.
What makes me happy? What makes me sad? Because the purpose that God has created me for has to do with something that has already put the seeds inside me. So in me finding my purpose is finding what is it makes me tick? What is it that makes me sad? What is it that makes me answer or address a particular need? So it is a journey that one walks in, and it evolves as you take particular steps in discovering your own purpose, in discovering your own path. Then as you do that, you find yourself that as you walk in the path or in the direction of your own purpose, you are fulfilled, you are happy, you are excited about it. When it's done right, you're excited. When it's done wrong, you're frustrated. So it is a journey that one works by not just looking up within themselves, but also looking up to the Creator, who is the purpose giver.
Right. Well, there we have it, live on Exit TV. And you know what? There is more than a month to go.
Yes.
Before your book is launched, but I have had front row sitting, and here I am holding it right here. Launching on the 31st of July. Make sure you get yours because we want you to go to your greatness because greatness awaits and exit your excuses.